Hi everybody, it's the most exciting day of my time here ever at Mapperton. As many of you know who've been following sort of my Mapperton journey, one of the things that I've always said I wanted to have conserved are the tapestries here. And I've been saying that for years and years and years. In fact, I've always joked with my children saying, you know, this is going to happen before, you know, I am gathered. I'm not saying that's happening anytime soon. But when I was filming for American Viscountess, I visited Blenheim Palace, and please do check out that video if you haven't seen it. And I was able to film with the head curator there, Kate. And we were looking at their amazing tapestries at Blenheim, and I asked Kate, I'm like, who do you have a good
conservator? So
yeah,
I'm a conservator,
okay.
yeah. So I particularly specialise in tapestries and historic house interiors, so that's my thing.
This is Emma, everybody, who was recommended by the one and only Blenheim Palace. We've been in contact.
We have, and you sent some videos and some photographs and said you had a mixture of things and pieces and tapestries hanging. So I thought this sounds really interesting, a bit of a detective project.
Yeah.
So I've come today and the sun's come out and it's been great, actually. It's been really nice.
And so so Emma and I kind of toured the tapestries in what I call the West Room, which is now my storage place, and the tapestry in the dining room, and then some tapestry that I found in a drawer. And then I left Emma on your own to sort of try to piece together, take measurements. And now is the moment, everybody. I have no idea what Emma's about to tell me, but I'm excited.
So I think that you have 3 tapestries.
Really?
Yes, but 2 of them are the same.
Okay.
I've ambushed you there, Julie.
Yeah.
So I think that there is a sort of Greek myth tapestry.
Okay.
So one of the fragments that you pulled out of the cupboard downstairs had those 2 figures in it, and we can look at photos in a minute.
Right.
I think one of those figures is Helios. Okay. The sun god.
Right.
And I think possibly that fragment over there comes also, it's got Cupid on a dolphin, which is do you know that mosaic down at Fishbourne, which has Cupid riding a dolphin? Yes. So I think that's who that is. Yeah, we can go and have a look.
So I see. There we go.
So this is a sort of, you know, it's obviously a classical scene. It's not the same as these verdures.
Right.
So you've got this classical, you know, you've got this fountain, you've got this lovely peacock, and then you've got what I think is Cupid riding the dolphin. Is that what you think it is?
Yeah, I do think so too. I think you're absolutely right.
So I don't know whether it's the same tapestry as Helios.
Right.
Or if it's from the same, maybe there was a set.
Okay.
That, you know, there are just these fragments left now.
Okay.
So I'm not sure, but this is definitely not part of these ones.
Okay.
Or the one in the dining room.
Okay.
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 So that's that.
So that's that. Okay. And if you're wondering and you're asking questions like, you know, how are they going to be conserved? We'll talk about that a little bit later, because as Emma has taken some beautiful photographs, it has shown the extensive damage, do we want to call it, cutting up?
Oh yeah, so there's been a lot of cutting up and cutting and joining, and different pieces cut away and maybe disposed of, and other bits joined, and sometimes pieces cut and then rejoined. So there's a lot of, some had a lot of work in the past, and a lot of repairs.
A lot of repairs. And also, when I had traveled to Belgium, to Mechlin, I went to the Royal Manufacturers of Tapestry, or called De Witt. And I had taken photographs there, everybody, of these tapestries. And they had, from the photographs, they were able to place them where they thought they were Brussels, and the provenance was Brussels, and they were 18th century. And you kind of think that possibly
I would agree, because the quality is quite fine.
Right.
So there are about 18 to 20 warp ends to the inch, and the warp is in a tapestry goes in that direction.
Okay. Yes.
You can sort of see the weave, and,
yeah, you
and then
can.
the weft is what you put where you put in the design. So all the colour is the weft. And the warp, you can just see the edge of the warp there.
Yes, yes.
And it's just, it's undyed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so
that's the warp.
interesting.
So they're quite fine. So I would agree with that. It's likely to be Brussels. It's likely to be, I don't know, mid-18th century.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Okay.
That's my guess.
That would make sense. So that's the fragment you photographed, right?
Yeah, downstairs on the floor. And you can see that that is that there.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes, it is. So it's the same.
It's the same. So I think this one has been cut from the dining room tapestry.
Okay.
And if you look, there are the dogs there.
Yes.
And I thought it was a deer at first, but that doesn't look like a deer's tail. It looks like a fox's tail. So I think this is a fox hunt.
Okay. Okay. Yes.
And if you look at the dogs on the other, there are two dogs there. They don't look like beagles, do they? They look like deer hounds or something.
Yeah, they do.
But one of them's got a collar, so it's not. It's definitely not like a wild animal situation. It's definitely I think a hunt.
Yeah,
I think it's a hunt. So that little bit there with the dogs attacking the fox, you can see
it's a bit gruesome though. There's blood there, isn't there?
A very gruesome subject, but quite popular, I think.
Yeah.
That's them there, isn't it? It's the same, and you can see these two trees that kind of.
Same.
It's the same there.
It's the same.
It's the same. So you've got two.
Oh my gosh!
But somebody's cut them about.
And so do they go back together then? No.
I think you've got two. I'm wondering if you might be able to assemble one complete one. But that needs a bit more thought.
Right, okay.
And this tapestry here
has,
if you see here, there's a little, it looks like a watermill.
Yeah, and I've seen that.
And that's that.
And that's that, you're right.
So that piece of tapestry has lost height, and this one has lost the dogs that are below.
You're right. And it has the two trees,
yes,
the spindly trees going up.
The condition
above.
of that one is much better.
Yeah. But then it's a different tree above, right?
No, it's the same tree.
Same tree.
It's just that you've got more of it here.
You've got more of it. You're right. I see what you're saying. You're right. It's the same tree. It is the same tree.
It's the same tree. So what we don't have.
This is bizarre.
That in this tapestry, we don't have the big tree on the right-hand side.
Right.
We don't have it here, but maybe do we have it in the? Could that be it? There. Because this is made up of about 3 different pieces as well on the right-hand side of the dining room tapestry. I think with a bit more measuring,
yes,
and then a bit of comparison between photographs and things, we might be able to work out what the original. So the bit in the middle of the tapestry, we call that the main field, and then it's got the border around it.
Okay.
All of the borders in these tapestries have been cut off and then reapplied.
Yeah, you can see that.
You can see it
everywhere.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mosaic, isn't it?
Yeah. Why would they have done that? So it's kind of done poorly, really. It's just sort of cut here, put it there, place it there. It doesn't match up.
It doesn't. I mean, we noticed that, but I suppose if you came into the room and you saw there was a tapestry borders, you know, you'd think that looks nice. But you're not going to look terribly closely at how exactly it's cobbled together.
No, it's pretty bad.
But it is intended to make it look more complete.
Okay.
And at the bottom right-hand side, they've actually done quite a neat mitre join on that border.
Right. Oh, they have. Yeah, they have.
Before.
That's so funny.
Quite nicely done.
Right. That's one. One thing that was quite nicely done. So we've got 3, but we might have possibly
one big one. Well, I don't think I've ever had such a detective challenge, really, truly.
And they're hung just completely the wrong way. I mean, now we would hang it by Velcro.
Yeah.
Totally. So, you know, it's just, so, all right. I know a lot of you will be asking, like, what is next step? what are we going to do next? And you're going to come away from this and sort of try to piece some things together.
Yes. Well, we can have another chat about what you would like.
Yeah.
Or maybe you want to wait for my report before you sort of think about what your preferred outcomes might be. But I can certainly say, well, Julie, this is what we've got. I can make a sort of map.
Right. Okay.
If we were to try and reassemble one whole tapestry, let's see if that's possible with the fragments that you've got.
Yes. We do want to reassemble. I'm sure everybody is watching this thinking, yes, reassemble. Now, really quickly, also, the state of these, I mean, they are in seriously...
They're in quite bad.
Yeah. So that is your expertise. I mean, that's what you go through. You stabilize, you conserve, you repair where you can.
Some repairs you want to take out because they're, A, because they're disfiguring, and B, because they're actually causing damage.
Yeah.
What's interesting as well is that these two pieces here that we're looking at are in better condition than a lot of the others, and they've been less cut about. So I wonder if maybe some of them had been cut because they were in just in bad condition. So they cut those bits out and then attached a new bit. Brought it, cut out a section and then brought the two pieces together. So that's
clever thinking.
But it's very much, if we are talking about First and Second World War, it's make, do and mend, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what they were doing.
That is what they were doing.
And, we've still got them now because they did that.
Yes.
Although we not all of the repairs are great. No, some of them are really bad. Yeah. But there's still something there to get hold of, isn't there?
Yeah. And the colour, what about the colour, bringing out the colour?
Well, certainly they can be washed.
Yeah. Okay.
So when you handle them, they feel really brittle, don't
yes,
they?
They do.
They
do.
Dry and brittle. Unfortunately, when a colour is faded on a tapestry, you're not going to bring that back. But washing them, it's incredible the difference that can make, and you can really begin to see detail in the design that you can't really otherwise see. And they also have a bit of a sort of yellow cast, don't they? So quite often it's it's nicotine or it's smoke from the fire and all sorts,
coal
for centuries.
Coal. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all of that, they've probably never been washed.
No, no, they haven't. I know that for sure.
But washing it doesn't just enhance the aesthetics of the piece, it removes a lot of acidic material, which isn't good for it. And it also makes the handle much nicer.
Okay.
Not that you want people handling them.
No, but yeah.
Yeah.
This is beyond exciting, as I said at the beginning. And many of you know that we here at Mapperton have done some really successful and wonderful fundraising. And many of you through Buy Me a Coffee have asked, am I going to be doing a fundraiser for these tapestries? And the answer is yes. I have some great ideas around this fundraiser because I think this is going to be, I want this to go international. Obviously nothing's going to be launched right now, but if you're interested in knowing, being the first to know about when I launch the tapestry fundraiser, there's a link down in the description box below where you can input your email address. Anyway, thank you, Emma. I mean, you've been here for hours. So this takes a long time. It's been great.
No, well, it's lovely, just especially in a storeroom like this, and you're sort of moving bits of furniture and lovely old textiles out of the way.
Yeah.
We're just sat in the park field in front of the house, and we're kind of watching the cattle, but we've actually got a job to do. And the job is a really important one for Mapperton Wildlands, which is to support our native owls. And the way we do that is...
Large wildlife nesting boxes.
Nesting boxes, exactly. So you've been building boxes?
With the volunteers, yeah, they've been very helpful making the boxes, painting them, everything else, making sure they're still waterproof. And we've already put up a few already, so this is just the last one that we need to put up.
This is the last one.
Yeah, so I thought I'd tell you.
It's worth just giving a shout out to our wonderful volunteers who come to Mapperton and help on Mapperton wildlands. So Ben, we got to choose a tree.
Yeah,
for the next one. What are we looking for in a tree for an outbox?
Bit of a mixture. Anything. We just almost need to make sure it's all, you know, it's a nice sort of established tree. We can't put anything quite young, so obviously it's not going to be. And we want to try and make sure that it's you know, the actual trunk of the tree is very straight as well, because we want to keep that barn box level rather than at an angle. So so we're just trying. It's trying to look for a perfect tree. We want it to obviously be a bit sheltered from all the wind, weather, all the elements as well.
So probably on the sort of north side.
Yeah.
Northeast side.
Yeah, and then we almost it's like that sort of perfect. You want a bit of sunlight and
bit of everything really.
Bit of everything, and
it's like choosing a location for your house, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Or your caravan, or your tent. Yeah. Well, we want owls to have lovely, long, exciting, rewarding lives at Mapperton. So I think we better go drive off and see if we can find a tree.
Yeah, we'll have a look for a tree.
Let's go.
There's a nice beach there, but
This was.
What we probably have to do is just take that little limb off, just to lift it up a little bit higher, or leave the limb, but just get the box in the middle there, so where the sort of the crook is.
So this is a contender. This beach is a contender.
This is a contender.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's in the middle of the field, so it's quite
visible.
Quite visible. Open to the elements a little bit, but we get prevailing wind over from that direction. So
yeah. So we'd have to mount on the other side. All right, let's keep going. There's nothing quite like an English oak. What do you think, Ben?
It's just because it's bordering on that entrance to the drive, and I'm just more cautious about disturbance.
Oh, I see. Yes, because we've got cars coming past. Okay,
so.
we'll pass on that one.
And it's the same for this whole boundary, really. You got the main road, footpath, as well. So.
Okay, so there's another beach here. Ben, what do you think? I mean, this one is not quite as mature.
Yeah.
So probably going to grow too fast and.
Yeah, it's still.
We have to cut limbs down.
Cut limbs
It's more complicated.
Yeah, it's just one of those ones that I think if we go back to the first one, I think that's probably the better one.
The first beach it is.
Yeah, first beach.
Let's go back. Here we have a maple, and of course maple is a very important tree for Mapperton because Mapperton is derived from Mapleton, so it's only right that we have a maple in the park field. Ben, what do you think of its suitability?
Yeah, it's suitable. It's still very low. Young. It's a nice young tree, but I think just how it's all leaning, and obviously you can tell it sort of had been hit by the weather when it's been growing, so that's sort of why it's leaning quite a bit. So I think that'll just be a bit of a bigger job, just to try and get the barn owl box nice and straight and at a right angle. So I think we might have to pass on this one.
Too tricky. Passing on the maple. Right, we're gonna put the box up in the beach.
So
what about just in there?
Almost, yeah, the same. I think that probably would be better.
That would be better.
At least it's got a little bit more shelter from the wind.
Yeah.
And then
you know
the ground looks a little bit level as well.
And it
for
makes our lives much easier, doesn't it?
Well, I wasn't going to say that, but yeah,
it's okay.
Self-preservation first.
That's okay.
So we might need to get a strap, because obviously once you get it in place, you need to obviously hold it there. So what we might do is see if we can chuck a strap over the branch.
Okay.
Then almost like hoik up, pull up the barn owl box.
Do we have a strap?
We've got a strap in there.
Okay.
So try and hoik it up and lift it up, and then someone can be holding it while,
this is really, really light. not. Oh my goodness. What, we've got to lift that?
Yeah. So it's been.
What do you make it out of? Lead? I don't need lead boxes.
It's all the screws that's holding it together.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, it's obviously designed to last centuries. Okay. Right, let's get it in position. I'm sorry that you're doing all the work.
That's all right.
You sort of, right.
I'm used to it by now.
What? No. He's got no filter. No filter.
If you pass the loppers, there's a pair of loppers in the back of the mule.
I don't really want to drop it, do I?
I know, it's fine. It's all on the strap.
Oh, it's got stuck. Okay. Right, how's that doing?
This is where I need the ladder just to
Okay, ladder back.
guide it back over.
Yeah. It's going pretty well, actually. We didn't need the mule. Right. So, if you want it to go higher, if you do, you want it to pull it out a bit because it's stuck.
Yeah.
Okay, how's that?
Right, just a little bit more.
Right, okay.
That's perfect there.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's perfect there.
Wow.
So I just need
Look
to.
at that. So now I've got to just,
So if you might just need to.
if I just tie this off, yeah. On here, I use one of my sailing knots. Well, just put a hitch in there, like that. I think we're good. Right, this was all much more straightforward than I thought. That's pretty good there. But there's quite a gap, do you see what I mean?
Yeah, so we got the batten at the top, which I'll drill into.
And the one just sits
The other
there.
one's a sort of, it's just because
Okay.
those screws are probably about
Oh, I see.
is a coach bolt that long.
Okay,
So it's going to be
that's going to be fine then.
it's going to be fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Right. Screwing. What do you need?
Just the
Drill.
Yeah, the drill. I've already got a bolt in there now already. I put one in there at the start just so
Okay.
because sometimes they're a bit difficult to.
Am I giving it a go?
You can give it a go.
Do I need a screw?
No, there's already one up there.
There's one up there.
Yeah, there's already one up there.
Right.
So what you need to do is just because it's missed. I'll stand on the ladder. But it's just missed. So you need to almost you'll need to take it out.
Where is it? Is it on the top one?
No, it's just on the bottom one. Where when you climb up, you'll see it just on the inside, but you'll just need to move it down maybe like a couple of centimetres, just so the bolt can actually go through the wood.
Where is it? It's on the, oh, it's in the
It's
inside.
on the inside. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Give it a good shake, see if it's
Yeah.
it's not going to go anywhere.
Okay, top one.
Top one, I don't think it's going to need it. We can either put some more screws in the top, but I think how it looks, how flush it is.
You can't, it's not going to survive on one screw.
Because it's butted up against there.
I tell you what, just to make me happy, can we put one in through
Yeah,
the 2x4 on
how?
this side? If you're an owl looking for a home, you really couldn't do better. The actual starting point for the owl is here, down into this section, through into the top, nesting, roosting, and then this gives us access to.
So every year we have to then clean it out after sort of nesting season.
Right.
Just in case there's any sort of like viruses or stuff like that, so I'd have to make sure it's all clean.
Give it a good clean.
Give it a good clean out.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah. Now, it's quite wobbly. So I think it's going to need something else on this side.
You're going to need another one of it.
Right. If you pull over the top.
Yeah.
Watch out. Look at that. Solid. It's another job well done at Mapperton. Real team effort. Thanks, Chris, for all the help. Yeah. It's important kind of moral support he provides, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you need a bit of moral support. Right. That is one fabulous owl box ready for its new occupants. And guess what? It's all free.
They'll probably start using it sort of February, March time.
February, March.
Yeah, you might see a bit of activity there then.
So we need to come and put a camera here.
Yeah,
We could have a Mapperton owl cam.
Little
What do
camera,
you think?
little camera on the top would be, or you could get a nice little camera up there. You could
Or
look
stick it
at
inside with the chicks.
or inside.
God, that's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, we could do.
Right.
Yeah, good signal.
On to the next.
I'm going to pick up these coronation robes, which is beyond exciting. You can see the wool to the left, and that, of course, is Hampton Court Palace. Okay, sorry. Oop, gosh, I've got to go. So, oh dear. I've got my pass. Whoop. Oh, there we go. Sorry, I'm going through a gate. I'm in a special car park. Oh my gosh. But you can understand why the security is so secure. Here's my pass, everybody. Yay! And picking up coronation robes in probably about 10 minutes. And I've just got to find a spot. We are setting up shop for our American Viscountess channel because we've got a whole sort of restoration textile video coming up. But this is it, everybody. I nearly screamed when I walked in, cried, really, I should say. Isn't it just fantastic? It's unbelievable. It's like night and day. It's night and day from when I first arrived with this robe.
So it hasn't been dry cleaned or chemically cleaned, but the vibrancy of that red is incredible. And it probably not dissimilar to how it would have been when it was last worn.
Right.
So just lifting all those fibres and bits that would have been on there, that if they had been left over time would start to deteriorate, and you would have found little holes and things like that. So it had a good clean, and then we had a look at the lining, so you can see, do you remember we talked about the pockets where we netted?
That's right.
Encasing those.
Yes, because it was really quite shredding parts of it, wasn't it?
So it was sort of really, which is not uncommon for silk, deteriorating, so it starts to perforate. So encasing it in that net just stops any more movement and loss. So we are capturing it at this moment in time, and this is how it will always be.
I'm bringing up coronation robes and coronets. I should say coronation robe, waistcoat, and coronets. And they're going into my sort of makeshift, let me put them down here, makeshift storage room. As I just visited the Royal School of Needlework in Hampton Court Palace, these are the coronation robes that have been stabilized and properly conserved, as well as, well, the coronation robe from the Earl of Sandwich and the waistcoat. And I can't get them out because they have been properly, well, we can look at them here, but they have been properly packaged up. So you can see here. Oop, there you go. And look at, they put little stickers there. Royal School of Needlework Embroidery Studio. So it came from there. So I'm actually quite pleased, but here they are. That's what's so exciting. So it's the robe and the waistcoat. So what I'm gonna do is put this back on. One second, hold on. And I'm going to place this so that whoever comes in here in 100 years from now, and maybe some of you, if you're going to visit, and if I can convince Luke that this is, actually I'll do it that way, so that's gonna go that way, that you will know that in here is a coronation robe. And I'm about to put the label on the waistcoat, but I need to make it a bit bigger. Now, so that's all that. In here, we didn't have a proper archiving hat box. So they just found a box, temporary box. But what I'm going to do now is just leave the labels here, redo that waistcoat one, and redo the labels, label for the waistcoat one. Keep the labels of the coronet. So the coronet for the man, for the Earl, and the coronet for the Countess. And they're inside here. But like I said, I'm gonna go to Preservation Equipment, PEL, Preservation Equipment Limited, and order a proper archiving box. Last but not least, I do want to recognize and say an enormous thank you to those of you who bought me a cup of coffee for the restoration of these coronation robes. Incredible. I mean, you are the reason that this has happened. And when I say restoration, what I mean is there was some repair done, some netting to make sure that it was stabilized. You know, it was a lot of work that went into this to make sure that these are preserved for future generations. And that's all because of you who donated cups of coffee to me. And I cannot thank you enough. This is so important. You know, this was originally, all of this was in a bin bag within a chest somewhere in the house. And because of the coronation of King Charles III, Luke and I went on the hunt to try and find them. We did find them. They were in a real state. And, you know, the Royal School of Needlework, who obviously did the embroidery for a lot of the robes that were worn at the coronation of King Charles III, and they did the embroidery on the Princess of Wales wedding dress. Anyway, I just want to say a huge thank you. I'm gonna go find and order this box, and yeah, there we go. I'm building my textile collection. By the way, there's still a lot more to go because I haven't even gone into that closet yet. That's right, there's more textiles in there.